Today we're going to learn how to use a forklift to pick up a pallet. So first thing you want to do is open up your propane, and then you're going to turn your key on. And if your key doesn't turn on, you're going to check your brakes or your gear. So you want to be in neutral. Then the key turn, start the ignition, and then release your brake. So you've got brakes and you've got gas. And as soon as you put this thing in drive or reverse, it will start moving. The momentum will start moving. So you've got three knobs here. The first knob lifts the entire system up and down. The second knob tilts back and forth. And the third knob moves left and right. So if I'm positioned at a shelf, I can move left and right without having to reposition the whole machine. So when we pick up a pallet, we want to go in flat with our forks. When we're driving, we don't want to drive with our forks touching the concrete because that will damage the concrete. So we want to be up a little bit, but we don't necessarily have to be up too high. And then when we pick up a pallet, we want to go in flat and then tilt up so that it kind of hugs the pallet up against the whatchamacallit, the forklift. So if I'm picking up this pallet right here, I'm going to lower my forks until they're nice and flat, but not too flat, and then I'm going to drive up into the pallet. So I'm going to shut this off so it doesn't move, because this will move. Never climb out of the forklift. So see, I've got my forks. They're right where the top of the wood is, so that they don't scrape the wood. Depending on the size of the pallet, you can move these forks over left and right. So we got notches here, so we can go tighter or looser. And then I'm gonna start this back up. So now, if I go to drive, you want to be right on the brakes, because this thing will massacre you. Now the steering is a bit nuts because this thing can drive. The steering wheel will turn like a million degrees. So I'm in here now. So now what I want to do is I want to tilt this back. Whoops, I think I killed it. What do we do here? We're going to raise this pallet. What's going on? Okay, so the other lesson is this is a really long pallet, so my forks didn't reach to the end of the pallet, which is kind of annoying. So you want to make sure your forks are long enough, because if you're picking up a long pallet with short forks, they're just going to break the front of the pallet, which is a bad idea. So this pallet's not even where we want it, so we're going to do this again. Try to pick this up. So I'm going to turn this back on. Lower our forks a little bit, so until you're right in the pallet. Now you gotta be careful not to hit something else. Oops. Okay, so now we got our forks right in, all the way into the pallet as much as we can go, just like that. And now we're going to turn this on again. We're going to turn on because it's. And now we're going to tilt up. Now, if we want to put this on a shelf, we can raise this up. Now we can drive if we need to. Let's say I want to take, there's a truck in my way, so I can drive this now. You want to make sure that you don't hit anything. So if I wanted to put that up on the shelf, let's say, and you gotta be careful because this does not, it steers like a car, but a number of turns you gotta make with the wheel to get to turn left or right is insane. So I'm lined up here at my shelf, let's say, but I'm too close to the edge. Whoops. So now back up a bit. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Pallet is not in great condition here. It's starting to get wobbly, so I think we're just gonna leave it on the ground. So now we dropped our pallet off. We just reverse direction. Oops. You also gotta remember, if you're turning like too far, you end up making a mess here. So I'm gonna turn this off. And last but not least, you close the propane as tight as you can go so that people don't die, and then get rid of the red silicone that exploded.